Now, France's government is on the verge of collapse as the parliament there is expected to remove Prime Minister Michel Barnier in a confidence vote just 3 months after he took office. The fresh political turmoil comes after the decision by Mr Barnier to force through an austerity budget without the approval of Parliament. The confidence motion is supported by the majority of MPs from across the political divide. Now, if he loses, Michel Barnier will become the shortest-serving Prime Minister in France's Fifth Republic. Our correspondent Hugh Schofield is in Bordeaux, and I asked him about the Prime Minister Michel Barnier telling French television last night it was possible he still might survive.
He appeared on television last night to give his side of all of this, but there was no concession, there was no indication of any movement, and so look, as things stand, there's no question what's going to happen. He's going to be ousted, notwithstanding the fact that there could be still a change in the course of the day. Until it's voted, it's not voted, and what the optimists, at least in his entourage, are saying is that hang on, let's wait. There could be a phone call between him and Marine Le Pen during the day. He could give on this last issue which Marine Le Pen is demanding of him, which is to do with pensions and the indexation of pensions, linking them with inflation and so on. That was a red line that she had given him. He refused to budge on it, and that's why she's now saying she's going to vote against him at this key vote this afternoon. But if there's some movement today, that could still shift. I have to say, I find it most unlikely. So in all probability, in 12 hours from now, we will once again be without a Prime Minister here.
And what does this mean for President Macron, who called the election in July that led to the situation of political instability?
Well, he's already very discredited. I don't think there's any question about that. He's already a weaker figure. I think the bigger question is what it means for France as a whole, and the question mark that hangs over it now, over its very governability. If for the last 5 months we've had, first of all, no government, and then a government that's been hanging by a thread and is now being toppled by the opposition, who are more strong than the government. And if the situation in Parliament has not changed and can't change for another 6 months because there can't be elections till June, July, then obviously that raises huge issues about the stability of the country, about what's likely to happen in the next few weeks in terms of social movements on the street and so on, possible unrest, raises huge questions about the finances of the country. There's no budget. This is all about the budget. The budget had to be passed by the end of the year. It won't be passed. There'll have to be emergency legislation pushed through by Parliament just to keep the existing budget ticking over so that money can be borrowed on the markets. That money is going to be more expensive to borrow now because the markets will demand an extra chunk because of the doubts over the country's immediate